The king cobra doesn't always win. In fact, sometimes it dies in the most brutal ways imaginable. Picture the world's deadliest snake striking first, only to be ripped apart, crushed, or outsmarted by creatures no one expects to fight back. From ants that swarm its body until it stops moving, to birds that swoop in and tear it to pieces, to massive beasts that don't even flinch at its venom, the cobra's crown means nothing when nature turns on it. These aren't ordinary battles. They're shocking showdowns where the hunter is dragged down and the so-called king is dethroned. Stay tuned, because what you're about to see will change the way you look at predators forever. Mongoose versus cobra. At first glance, you might think a mongoose is no match for a snake, especially a cobra. But don't be fooled. The mongoose is famous for being a fearless snake hunter, and what it lacks in size, it makes up for in speed, smarts, and pure guts. Watch as the cobra spreads its hood wide, swaying back and forth, trying to scare its opponent into retreat. For most animals, that display is enough to send them running. But the mongoose doesn't even blink. It circles patiently, eyes locked on the serpent, waiting for the perfect chance to strike.
Snakes to the mongoose are like peanuts to the squirrel. Guts of steel make him the perfect housemate.
And here's the wild part. The cobra's venom isn't the instant death sentence you'd expect. For a mongoose, it's more like a sleeping pill. They might wobble a bit, maybe even pass out, but give them a short rest and they pop right back up, ready to finish the fight. Imagine being so tough that cobra venom just counts as a quick power nap. When the moment finally comes, the mongoose lunges with lightning speed, clamping its jaws right on the snake's head. In seconds, the mighty cobra is overpowered. The hunter has become the hunted, and the king has lost its crown to a pint-sized powerhouse. The badger attacking the snake. If the mongoose is quick and clever, the honey badger is just pure chaos wrapped in fur. This animal has earned a reputation as one of the toughest creatures alive. So tough that even lions usually think twice before messing with it. And when it comes to snakes, the honey badger doesn't just defend itself, it actively hunts them down like it's looking for trouble. Picture this: a cobra coiled and ready, fangs dripping with venom. Most animals would keep a safe distance, but the honey badger? It charges straight in, fearless and reckless, like it already knows how this fight will end. Meet the Bruce Lee of the animal kingdom. Fast, fearless, and almost impossible to knock out. Its skin is so thick and loose that even if the snake manages to land a bite, those fangs barely make a dent. And here's the secret weapon. One of the honey badger's most remarkable traits is its immune system. It has a natural resistance to many snake venoms, including some of the deadliest species in Africa. Even a black mamba, one of the most feared snakes on Earth, can sink its fangs into this scrappy fighter without sealing its fate. That immunity gives the honey badger a huge advantage, letting it survive bites that would kill most other animals in minutes. Even so, there are times when the venom takes effect. The honey badger has been seen collapsing after a bite, lying motionless as if the fight is over. But then, in a shocking twist, it wakes up, shakes off the poison, and goes right back to devouring its enemy. With jaws strong enough to crush bones, it bites down on the serpent, thrashes it around, and doesn't stop until the snake is nothing more than dinner. To the honey badger, a deadly cobra is just another snack. And that's why this scrappy fighter is feared by predators across the animal kingdom. Even the king of snakes isn't safe from its unstoppable hunger. The woodpecker defends eggs from giant snake. What happens when a tiny bird takes on a giant snake? Believe it or not, the answer is pure courage. A crimson-crested woodpecker, small but fiery, finds herself face to face with a 10-foot snake, slithering straight toward her nest. The snake isn't just passing by, it's here for a meal. Eggs, chicks, anything it can swallow. Again and again, it lunges at the woodpecker with frightening speed, trying to turn her into its next victim. Most creatures would flee, but not this mother.
Wow! I have it! Don't move the boat! Oh my God.
She refuses to give an inch. Bite after bite, she gets knocked back, her feathers ruffled and her body stinging from venom. But like a boxer in the ring, she shakes it off and comes back swinging. Her beak becomes a weapon, striking with furious determination. Every peck says the same thing. You are not getting my babies. The battle rages on, and it's not just about survival anymore. It's about a mother's unbreakable instinct to protect her young, no matter the cost. Watching her fight, you realize something powerful. Size doesn't decide the outcome. Heart does. And this little woodpecker has more of it than most predators could ever imagine. Kangaroo rat versus the sidewinder snake. In the dry, moonlit deserts, danger slithers silently. The sidewinder rattlesnake, one of the fastest and deadliest snakes in the sand, lies in wait. With its horned head and lightning strike, most animals don't stand a chance. But tonight, it faces a tiny opponent that's anything but ordinary, the kangaroo rat.
Under cover of darkness, the world is a safer place for a kangaroo rat.
Small, fast, and armed with moves that belong in a kung fu movie, the kangaroo rat has turned survival into an art form. Researchers who've watched these desert duels call them nothing short of incredible. The moment the sidewinder coils and strikes, the kangaroo rat springs into action. Literally. Using its powerful back legs, it launches itself high into the air, dodging the snake in the blink of an eye. But here's the jaw-dropping part. The kangaroo rat doesn't just dodge. Mid-leap, it often twists its body and delivers a solid kick straight to the snake's face.
The rat uses those powerful legs to kick free, before the snake can inject its lethal dose of venom.
Imagine dodging a venomous bite and at the same time smacking your predator in the mouth. That's not just survival, that's style. Over and over, the sidewinder lunges, and over, the rat somersaults, flips, and counters like a true desert ninja. It's a battle of speed versus speed, precision versus agility. And in the end, the snake, built for ambush and power, finds itself outclassed by a rodent the size of its tail. In the desert, being small doesn't mean being weak. And when you've got kicks like Bruce Lee and reflexes faster than a snake's strike, you can turn even the deadliest predator into the loser. Rattlesnake messed with the wrong cat. One of the deadliest snakes on the planet is the rattlesnake. Its venom can kill in minutes, and its strike is faster than the blink of an eye. Most animals wouldn't even dare to get close. But this snake just picked a fight with the wrong opponent, a house cat. Now, don't let the soft fur and playful whiskers fool you. This little feline is basically the Muhammad Ali of the animal kingdom. Float like a butterfly? Check sting like a bee? Oh, definitely. The rattlesnake coils, rattles, and launches its lightning-fast strikes. But the cat, not even breaking a sweat, with reflexes faster than a gamer dodging lag, it slips past every attack, then counters with a rapid-fire barrage of paw swipes. At one point, it looks less like a fight, and more like the cat is playing whack-a-mole with the snake's head. The rattlesnake tries again and again, but the outcome is clear. Speed, precision, and pure feline confidence win the day. In the end, the snake collapses, completely outclassed. The verdict? This rattlesnake seriously messed with the wrong cat. And the cat? Well, let's just say, 9 lives, 0 fear. The secretary bird versus the king cobra. The king cobra is one of the most dangerous snakes in the world. Its venom can kill an elephant, but against the secretary bird, the cobra doesn't stand a chance. The secretary bird doesn't waste time flying. It hunts on the ground, walking across the savanna on long legs built for power. Its scientific name, Sagittarius serpentarius, literally means snake hunter. That's not just a title, it's exactly what it does.
Everything about their biology is designed for hunting dangerous prey, particularly venomous snakes.
When it spots a cobra, there is no hesitation. The bird charges straight in. The cobra rears up, hood spread, fangs ready. Normally, this display is enough to scare off most predators. Not this bird. The secretary bird slams its foot down with the force of a hammer. Each strike is fast, accurate, and strong enough to crush bone.
The secretary bird has some serious kick.
The cobra tries to strike, but it's too slow. The bird's kicks come faster than the snake's lunge. A single stomp to the head can kill instantly. If not, the bird keeps pounding until the snake stops moving. Venom doesn't matter. The cobra has to land a bite to use it, and the bird doesn't give it the chance. Once the cobra is finished, the bird doesn't waste time. It picks up the body, swallows it, or leaves it broken. Then it continues its patrol like nothing happened. This ruthless efficiency has made the secretary bird a symbol of strength in Africa. It appears on coats of arms in countries like South Africa and Sudan. To snakes, it's not a symbol. It's death on legs. The weasel, standing its ground. At first glance, the weasel doesn't look like much of a fighter. Small, lean, almost fragile.
The weasel is a small but mighty predator, known for its ferocity and incredible hunting skills.
Hardly the kind of animal you'd imagine squaring off against a snake. In fact, most people think of weasels as tricksters or sneaky survivors, not frontline warriors. But nature has a way of surprising us. In this rare face-off, a snake and a weasel go head-to-head in a high-stakes standoff. The battleground? A tree. Both creatures dart up and down the trunk, circling, lunging, retreating, each one waiting for the other to slip. What's striking isn't who wins, it's the fact that the weasel doesn't run. This little predator, usually more focused on rodents and small prey, suddenly shows that when cornered, it has the courage to stare danger in the eye. Every move is sharp, every lunge full of determination, proving that size and reputation aren't everything. Sure, the fight doesn't end with a clear victor, but the message is clear. The weasel may not go looking for snake battles, yet when the moment comes, it refuses to fold. Dogs fires snake. The next video is an impressive compilation of various encounters between snakes and dogs. And it raises a big question. Can dogs truly be considered the best defense against a snake? Well, in the vast majority of situations, the answer is yes. And the reason is simple. Dogs have extraordinary senses, especially their sense of smell, which allows them to detect snakes long before we humans ever notice the danger. This early detection often makes all the difference. Again and again, dogs have saved their owners by charging straight at a snake that was dangerously close, when the humans themselves had no idea what was lurking nearby. And once the fight begins, dogs bring their own brutal strategy. With powerful jaws and crushing bite force, many dogs latch onto a snake and shake it violently, making it nearly impossible for the reptile to strike back. You'll see it in several of these clips. One decisive grab, one fierce shake, and the snake is finished. This instinctive move isn't random. It's part of the way dogs neutralize threats, honed through centuries of survival and protection. It's fast, it's effective, and in many cases, it saves lives. But here's the harsh truth. Unlike mongooses or honey badgers, dogs are not immune to venom. A single strike from a cobra, viper, or rattlesnake can turn their bravery into tragedy in minutes. That's why, as heroic as these clips may look, experts caution that it's never safe or fair to put a dog in this kind of danger on purpose. Still, the courage of dogs is undeniable. In fact, in some parts of the world, Certain breeds are trained specifically to track and eliminate snakes, turning their natural protective instincts into life-saving skills. At the end of the day, it all comes down to loyalty. When a snake threatens the pack, most dogs don't think twice. They leap into action, no matter the risk. And as this compilation shows, that fearless devotion has saved countless lives. The hawk furs snake. Snakes often like to act as though they rule the wild, sliding through the grass with an air of quiet dominance. But the truth? Even top predators can become prey. And sometimes, the fall from the food chain's top spot is swift and comes from above. For this unlucky snake, the life lesson was brutal. Out of nowhere, a red-tailed hawk swoops down from the sky, talons extended like razor-sharp hooks. With astonishing precision, it slams into the snake, pinning it before the reptile even realizes what's happening. Hawks are masters of the ambush. They dive at incredible speeds, lock on with their powerful talons, and hold their prey at just the right distance to avoid deadly fangs. Even when the snake writhes and strikes back, it's no match. The hawk simply tightens its grip, wings beating with effortless control, keeping the fight one-sided. What was, moments ago, a confident predator is now thrashing helplessly in the clutches of a hunter far superior. In the end, the hawk carries its prize away, while the snake's reign as top predator ends in silence. This time, the sky won. Monitor lizard easily eating the rattlesnake. When it comes to sheer audacity, few creatures rival the monitor lizard. Large, fearless, and endlessly aggressive, they don't seem to care whether their opponent carries venom or not. And in the case of rattlesnakes, that confidence might not be misplaced. Some experts believe monitors are immune to their venom. In this shocking encounter, a massive white-throated monitor named Dino takes on a rattlesnake. At first, it looks like a dangerous standoff. The rattler coils, rattles, and strikes. But Dino doesn't flinch. Instead, he seizes the snake by the head with crushing jaws, holding it firm as the rattlesnake thrashes desperately for freedom. Minutes pass. The snake grows weaker, its resistance fading. Patient and relentless, Dino waits until the fight drains out completely. And then, in one horrifying gulp, he swallows the rattlesnake whole. For Dino, it's just lunch. For the rattlesnake, it's the end of the line. The leopard attacks. A python in Kruger. This fight took place in Kruger National Park, South Africa. A leopard crouched low in the grass while a massive African rock python moved slowly across the ground. The big cat focused on the snake and waited for the right moment to attack. The python did not notice the predator nearby. It continued gliding forward under the hot sun, unaware of the danger. Without warning, the leopard lunged. It struck the python with a powerful swipe of its paw. The force of the blow knocked the snake off balance and sent it twisting across the dirt. The leopard immediately followed up. It bit down on the python's head and held it firmly in its jaws. The big cat dragged the heavy snake across the ground while the python writhed and struggled. The python attempted to fight back, but it could not break free. The leopard's strength was overwhelming. Then, in a surprising move, the leopard released its grip. The battered python slithered away slowly toward the nearest water source. It was injured, stunned, and moving with difficulty. The leopard did not pursue the snake. It simply stood and watched as the python retreated. In this encounter, the python survived, but the leopard clearly dominated the fight. The message was obvious. Inside Kruger National Park, even one of the largest snakes in Africa is no match for a determined leopard. Alligator attacks python underwater. In the Florida Everglades, an American alligator and a Burmese python clashed in the water. The python, a powerful constrictor and invasive predator, made the first move. It lunged at the alligator and tried to wrap its body around the reptile. The python's strategy was simple. It wanted to coil tightly, squeeze, and suffocate the alligator. This method works well on smaller animals, but against an alligator, the challenge was much greater. The alligator twisted and turned with surprising speed. Its size and strength made it extremely difficult for the snake to keep hold. Each time the python tried to tighten its grip, the alligator pulled free. The fight repeated in the same way several times. The python lunged and tried to coil, but the alligator forced its way out and swam clear. The snake's attacks looked aggressive, but they had little effect. Eventually, it became obvious that the python could not subdue the alligator. The gator's bulk and natural armor gave it a clear advantage. The snake was left exhausted and unsuccessful. While pythons in the Everglades have killed alligators before, this attempt failed. In this encounter, the alligator proved too strong and too well protected. Wild turkeys vs. snakes. It may sound strange, but wild turkeys aren't just foraging birds scratching at the ground, they're hunters too. And their chosen prey might surprise you. Snakes. One hunter managed to capture a remarkable scene. A group of turkeys spot a snake and immediately spring into action. Instead of fleeing in fear, the birds charge forward, pecking, stabbing, and striking with relentless determination. Even when the snake dives into the water for safety, the turkeys follow, unwilling to let their quarry escape. On the surface, it feels like a mismatch. Turkeys are heavy-bodied, unable to fly for long distances, and seemingly vulnerable if a snake were to strike back. Yet, they show no hesitation. Their sharp beaks become weapons, jabbing again and again until the snake weakens. What begins as a desperate struggle for the reptile ends with an unexpected twist, the turkeys victorious, feasting on the very predator that many would assume could make a meal of them. In the wild, appearances deceive, and sometimes it's the hunter you least expect who claims the prize. The porcupine vs. the king cobra. Picture this. You're standing on the African plains, and a king cobra slides into view. It's fast, long, and deadly. Ahead of it is a porcupine, slow-moving but covered in thousands of sharp quills. The cobra makes the first move. It strikes hard and fast, but instead of landing a bite, its fangs slam into quills. You can almost hear the impact. The snake jerks back, clearly not expecting that. It circles and tries again. Another strike, another failure. The porcupine doesn't run. It stands firm, quills raised, ready to punish any mistake. Now the porcupine lunges forward. The rattling of its quills is loud, and the cobra recoils to avoid being stabbed. Every time the snake moves in, it risks impaling itself. The cobra keeps looking for a weak spot. It strikes from the side, then from the front. Each attack ends the same way, blocked by quills. After several failed attempts, the cobra hesitates. Its energy is wasted, and the danger is too high. Finally, it gives up and slithers away. The porcupine remains unharmed. It wins without landing a single fatal blow. Here, you see the result clearly. The cobra brought speed and venom. The porcupine relied only on defense, and in this battle, defense was enough. And there you have it, proof that in nature, even legends can fall. From birds to beasts, size and venom aren't always enough to guarantee victory. Sometimes courage, cunning, or sheer toughness decides who walks away. So the next time you think of the king cobra as untouchable, remember, there are fighters out there bold enough to make it back down.